From the Tennessee Valley Weather Center, this is your afternoon weather update.
Climbing up through the 80s pretty quickly across the Tennessee Valley. We're up to 79 here in Lawrenceburg, 79 in the Shoals. Iuka, you're at 80. So are you in Honewald, also at 80 degrees. I think most of us are going to see 80 when all is said and done once we head through the next few hours here. Lots of moisture coming up through the Tennessee Valley. Some cloud cover still here in Lawrenceburg. 65 is the dew point with that wind at south at 8 miles an hour. You can see it's a little gusty out there. Camera's kind of shaky. That's that wind at 10 to 15 miles an hour coming from the south there. That's that warm, moist air coming into the Tennessee Valley. Much of the same if we hop across the state line and see what they have in the Shoals. I don't blame these folks for going out. It looks like a nice day as we head over the next several hours. A little more unsettled though later. We'll discuss that more in a few moments. 79 in the Shoals right now. Wind at the southwest at 5 miles an hour. Dew point 65 degrees. So again, pretty humid out there. The dew point kind of makes it feel a little bit like summer out there, but we're not too hot. We're not in the 90s or anything like that. We'll just be dealing with lower to mid 80s for today. Now, that is a sign of the times. Check this out, though. We do have a level 2 out of 5 risk issued here across much of southern middle Tennessee here, extending down through Giles, Lawrence, Wayne County, out through Hardin, and points west. Northwestern Alabama, you're staying in that level 1 out of 5 risk, so there's a scattered chance of a severe thunderstorm warning or two through later tonight. But I think the main chance, like I mentioned, is in southern middle Tennessee, especially as you go further north up through here. We'll call it near Honewald, Columbia, up through Murray, Lewis County. That's where the greatest threat is. And then that line drags south. Some scattered storms possible there. Now, the main threat, what is that? Well, we're looking at some possibilities of some damaging winds in excess of 60 miles an hour with this line of storms here. Maybe some large hail and some of the stronger updrafts. Don't think that's one of the main threats. Maybe some isolated flooding as well with some of the training convection that kind of sits on one spot. And, of course, you can never rule out the chance of a tornado with systems like this. I don't think that's the main threat. I think the main threat comes by way of that damaging wind. So we'll be keeping an eye on that over the next 12 hours. I think the main chance for that is tonight. Let me show you those models here, what they have indicating for storms later. Looks like this has a pretty good handle on things. Temperatures hovering near 80 as of right now. As we head through today, not much in the way of rain. We get up to the lower to mid 80s for highs. And then as we head through the overnight hours, notice to the north there, we got this big line of storms falling south there through about 10, 11, 12 o'clock tonight. And then boom, that's whenever it's over the Tennessee Valley. And notice it's not really moving too fast. It's kind of building back on itself. That's that chance of scattered flooding across the area. But I think the possibility of some damaging winds is definitely there with this line as it drags through southern middle Tennessee and northwestern Alabama. Again, can't rule out the chance of a tornado embedded somewhere within there. Severe weather, you never can, but I don't think that's the main threat. I think we need to watch out for the chance of severe weather. If anything does happen with that, any warnings are issued, we'll be right here with you to update you with the threat if that ever does come. So moving on, let's just go ahead and see what we have in store for tomorrow, because tomorrow looks a little less unsettled. Does look unsettled nonetheless, but I don't think it's going to be this big line of storms. It looks almost summertime-like in this convective pattern in that it's just kind of hit or miss across much of the Tennessee Valley with temperatures in the 80s. We'll call it lower 80s for most of us, maybe flirting with mid 80s in northwestern Alabama. We'll call it 85 in Decatur, 85 in the Shoals there, 83 in Russellville, and 84 right there in Athens, Alabama. Let's take a look at the long-term forecast. We seem to stay in this pattern of kind of hit or miss convection. Not one day is going to be a particular washout. Looks like we even have a little bit of more mist than hit as we head through the middle portions of the work week, but there is still the chance there as these systems continue to boil over the southeastern United States. You see what I'm talking about there? They kind of just boil up and then dissipate. That's kind of the sign of the time, so to speak, as we're heading deeper into May. We get these systems that kind of just come up, produce a little bit of convection, and then fizzle out. I think that's what's the story going to be like as we head over the next few days here. Let's take a look at the temperature trend to see exactly what that looks like in terms of warming up. Because we are warming up just a little bit, we'll be getting into the more consistent mid-80s through midweek and beyond there. Check it out, 84 by Thursday. Lows even hovering in the 60s pretty much for the entirety of the week. I think we're pretty much done with those cold snaps across the Tennessee Valley, and we're heading into a more springtime-like and summer-like pattern over the next several weeks. So 7-day forecast, let's see what we have in store. There's that kind of scattered convection throughout the week with temperatures in the mid 80s, maybe cooling off by next weekend and drying out just a little bit. But either way, we're warm and it's definitely spring out there. Thanks for watching this forecast update, and God bless.